Kelly Ripa has reached a huge milestone and is celebrating 25 years on live, but her future on the show appears uncertain. The 55-year-old has admitted in the past that her role may not be forever, and in a new interview, she confessed that Liv will continue long after her, as she doesn't intend on working forever. I always say this job and this place is so special that I really do believe in this show as a franchise. It's a franchise show, she told the Cider. Before me, there was Regis Philbin and Kathy Lee Gifford. And before Kathy Lee, there was Regis and a myriad of other hosts. I believe this show will continue on for as long as linear television exists. She continued, I believe that there are too many talented people out there that really deserve the opportunity to find their own audience and grow the audience the way they see fit. Because I don't intend to work for the rest of my life. I really do not. While Kelly believes there will be an eventual exit day for her, she isn't worrying about it yet. I think we'll all make that decision when the time comes, she added. I think there's a way to sort of get new people on board and have them test co-hosts and get the audience used to other people. I think it's important. I love this show too much to see it sort of ever end with us. Opening up about her beginnings on Live, Kelly revealed that what drew her to the role initially was the schedule, as it enabled her to work while raising her family. Kelly shares 3 children, Michael, 28, Lola, 24, and Joaquin, 22, with her husband and co-host, Mark Consuelos, 54. Working here has been unique to me in myriad ways because I've been able to work full-time professionally and yet also raise a family, which is very different from most entertainers in this business, she explained. If you have a family, you're often having to take your kids out of school and move across the country, or move depending on what series you're working on, anywhere. And I was able to raise my kids in the same place, in the same town, going to the same school, all of their lives. Kelly added, that really appealed to me. I knew the show was special from watching it, but the work schedule was what really appealed to me initially. However long Kelly decides to remain on Live, she's committed to continuing to deliver the absurdity of the news and the upbeat fashion viewers have come to love. Our job when we come on the air, we are fully cognizant that the viewers at home have had 5 hours of news programming. So we try to bring them a lighter, less anxiety-inducing side of what the headlines have to offer, she said. The light on Studio 6 beat always seems to linger a fraction longer when Kelly Ripa walks out onto the set. It's the sort of place that carries the kind of hum you can't fake, years of laughter threaded into the carpet, the faint echo of jokes that landed in the moment and were later replayed in living rooms across the country. Tonight, the studio feels both familiar and slightly new. Balloons in the wings, a subtle banner that reads 25 years in a tasteful script, and a cascade of bouquets that make the stage smell like spring. Kelly moves as if she's home, and in a very literal sense she is. 25 years is an odd kind of permanence for a medium defined by change. It's a milestone framed in mirth and confetti, but also one that invites a sharper question. How long can a person, even someone as effervescent as Kelly Ripa, carry a show that so many regard as a morning ritual? The cameras roll. The music swells. Kelly and her co-host exchange that perfectly honed, slightly conspiratorial smile that has come to mean, for millions, the star of the day. There's applause, canned and warm, and the teleprompter is kind. They talk first about cupcakes and surprise guests, about a viral dance challenge and a charity push. But as the segment shifts into an interview about the quarter-century mark, the mood softens. Kelly, good-humored and candid by turns, leans into the microphone and speaks plainly. I always say this job and this place is so special, she tells the camera, eyes bright. I really do believe in this show as a franchise. It's a franchise show. It's an observation that sounds at once like a compliment and a concession. A franchise implies continuity beyond any one performer. It means the title survives the faces. The idea settles in the studio like the exhale after a laugh track. The audience, Both in the room and at home, here's not a resignation but a stewardship. Kelly is saying she understands the show's scale of existence, larger than the sum of the people who anchor it on any given morning. She traces the lineage with affectionate reverence. Before me, there was Regis and Kathy Lee. And before Kathy Lee, there was Regis and a myriad of other hosts, she says. The names sit on the stage like a small constellation of mentors and predecessors. To those listeners who grew up with those voices, the reference is a bridge, continuity through decades, morning after morning. The lineage is a proof point that Live with Kelly and Ryan and all its prior incarnations can stretch across eras. And then Kelly unspools one of the sentences she said before, but with a clarity tonight that feels deliberate. I don't intend to work for the rest of my life. I really do not. It lands differently when she says it in the bright, performative air of Studio 6B than it does in a magazine profile or backstage anecdote. There's a beat. The audience catches it. It's not an ultimatum, nor a resignation. It's an admission of limits, a recognition that a life lived fully includes chapters away from the desk. She elaborates with a practicalness that has long tempered her candor. There are too many talented people out there that deserve the opportunity to find their own audience, she says. I think we can test co-hosts, let the audience get used to other people. It's a plan that is both generous and pragmatic, a careful passing of the torch, a pilot program of sorts where the show's DNA is preserved, but new voices are allowed to root and grow. Watching Kelly speak, you can see the tug of every facet of her life. On one side is the show itself, the daily alchemy of headlines and levity, the joy of delivering the absurdity of the news in a way that unclenches viewers' shoulders. Our job, she reminds them, is to come on when people have already had 5 hours of news programming and give them something lighter, something less anxiety-inducing. It's a mission statement that explains the rhythm of the show and why it has such staying power. On the other side is family. Kelly's face softens when she talks about why she took the job in the first place. The schedule. It wasn't the glamour of the studio or the bright lights. It was the ability to put down roots and raise children without the upheaval that so often accompanies careers in entertainment. She and Mark built a life that let Michael, Lola, and Joaquin grow up in the same town, going to the same schools, knowing the same neighbors. That appealed to me, she says simply. The audience can see how much that steadiness has meant to her, how much being a mother and an anchor have been parallel projects she's cherished. There is a moment in which Kelly lets herself imagine the day she steps away. She doesn't dramatize it. There's no cinematic slam of a door. Instead, the vision is domestic and deliberate, easing into another life that contains long, unscheduled mornings, maybe more grandchildren to babysit, perhaps new projects that are chosen instead of required. She pictures afternoons with Mark on their porch, exchanging sarcasm and secret jokes that don't need to be timed for TV. The notion is both tender and mildly comic, because after so long at the helm of a show that thrives on fast jokes, the idea of a slow day seems almost indulgent. I think we'll all make that decision when the time comes, she tells the camera. That's the adult version of hope, not fortune-telling, but an agreement to pay attention. It acknowledges that endings are negotiated, not abrupt, especially for a program as institutional as Live. Kelly insists she loves the show too much to let it fade as an afterthought. She wants it to be orchestrated, honorable. The phrase sits well with the audience. She is steward, not owner. She will pass the keys with care. Off camera, producers and executives are already working through the logistics of such a handover. Television is a business that devours ideas and people with equal hunger. The talk that Kelly speaks of, testing co-hosts, easing audiences into new personalities, is also a marketing plan. But on air, the focus is human. Kelly never speaks about the show as a brand devoid of faces. She speaks about it as a living thing that changes with those who tend it. She offers no manifesto, no contract clause, just a picture of cycles and continuity that feels humane. Her assurances are both comforting and candid. She knows the math of life. She knows the aches that accrue, the shifting priorities that come with aging. She hasn't